The app is in pretty good shape. I can check an answer, I can enter an answer via the text box, but the next question button hasn't been implemented yet. So let's go ahead and do that now. Click on the next question button and pull out the when next question button .click block. So the purpose of this block is going to be to increment or to advance that question number variable. So let's go ahead and set that question number variable to be one more than it currently is. In other words, let's go ahead and add 1 to that question number. So get that question number variable. And add 1 to it. Again, it's going to get the current question number, add 1 to it, and set that to be the new question. So if it was 1, now it'll be 2. If it was 2, now it'll be 3. One potential problem here is that if we get above 3, well, we don't have any more questions to ask. So if we get to the third question, we want that to go back to the first question. So let's check to see if the question number is now greater than the number of elements that I have in the list, make it go back to 1. So use the control block if, and I want to check to see if that current question number is greater than the length of a list. So go ahead and get the greater than comparison operation. I could also have done so by dragging out the equal sign comparison and selecting the greater than. I could also have then just type like you saw the greater than sign, and it brings out this block. Good. So let's get that global question number again and make sure that see if it's greater than the length of one of these lists. So under the lists drawer, I can get the length of a particular list. It doesn't really matter which list of these 3 that I choose. They all have 3 elements inside of it. So let's go ahead and just get one of them. Say the picture list. That'll be fine. If it is the case that the question number is now greater than the number of elements inside of that list, I want to set that question number back to 1. That's great. The other thing that's important for us to do is to update these labels, the question label and the answers labels and things like that. So let's go ahead and do that. The question label is here. We'll set the question label's text to be the element inside of that questions list that I want. So again, under the lists drawer, I'm going to select an item, in this case, of that variable known as the questions list. And also that global question number of that particular index. So that'll get the corresponding, the correct question and set that question label to be the new value. Good. I also want to update the picture. So under the president's image, set its picture to be very similar to this block. In fact, I'll just copy and paste it. Instead of getting it from the questions list, I want to get the new picture from the pictures list. The last thing I want to do when I click the new question button is make sure that the correct or wrong label is no longer visible. Go to the answers label and we'll select the set answers label.visible block here. And we want to set that to false. Remember that when we clicked the answer button, we're going to check, or we're going to set the answer label visible to be true. And so it'll always pop up. When we click the next question button, it should disappear. One last thing that I'm going to recommend that we do here is take the answers text box and set that answers text to be basically nothing. We want to take the old answer and wipe it away. So we'll set that to be just basically that empty string here inside the quotation marks. All right, with that, the app should be pretty close to being complete. So I can check the answer, that says correct, great. I go to the next question, right, that goes away, the image changes, the question appears, and also the text disappears. So now I can check to see if this is Adams, and check the answer. Indeed it is. Go to the next question. You get the idea. Notice after this, if I click next question again, it should go reset back to the first question, and it does. Great. There is the President's Quiz app.